Alright, that's enough of that. Welcome to Footnotes, episode 4, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, season 4. Best, yeah, probably the best. I mean, I like the Batman animated series theme song, which I'm tempted to not the Adam West Batman theme, the animated series.
We'll have to beat the Joker in a dance contest.
I'll get you, Batman. All right. Welcome to Footnotes. If you haven't watched the previous episodes of Footnotes, there's a podcast where we talk about either a movie or a TV show about how we would improve the writing of it.
Right.
We make a bunch of bullet points, and you get to watch us work through the creative
process.
Exactly. Precisely. So, starting with Season 4 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Wait, why would we be starting with Season 4?
You started with Season 4. No, that's where you did.
Well, we there wasn't a reason to try and fix the other seasons, so we'll do this. I mean, the first season isn't very good, but, you know. The fourth season is definitely not good after how good the third season was.
Right.
I could go on for hours about this, but we won't.
Okay.
We'll talk specifically about Season 4. So
Buffy's in college now. She's grown up. She's being responsible.
Well, you know, kind of. She gets pretty drunk in one of the episodes.
Yeah.
She gets so drunk she turns into a caveman. Although that wasn't her fault.
Right. That
was a weird episode.
Yeah. She gets ransacked
one of the worst, probably.
By a drug house of vampires for some reason.
Yeah, a lot of weird stuff goes down in the fourth season. Some of it's really cool, like...
Oh, right. Her roommate turned out to be a demon child.
Yeah. Turned out to be a demon child, and her demon parents had to take the demon child back into their dimension.
Buffy became really paranoid about that for some reason.
Look, it's difficult to follow up the climax. You know, it's difficult to change the character trajectories when they're no longer in college, right?
Right.
Or sorry, when they're no longer in high school. Damn it! When they are starting college. There we go. No, it's difficult to, you know, figure it out. So we're going to list off the bad stuff, and then we're going to form a plan for how to make the season better, and then we're going to come up with maybe some themes and arcs that we can would be exploring throughout the season. So, first of all, Riley is an uninteresting character.
Riley, okay.
The soldier boy.
Yes, I remember.
He's like Captain America, but more bland.
I mean, he had sort of a
contra thing going on.
Wait a second.
Do you not remember who Riley was?
Captain America.
Oh, okay. The government plot is poorly developed at best, and it breaks the immersion of the show. So I heard someone sum this up pretty well in an article. They said, like, it's believable that, you know, we as human beings might ignore the existence of demons and devils and stuff because we don't understand, like, magic. But it's less believable that there's, like, a secret government task force who's investigating demons and devils, indicating that we do know about them, but not that we choose to ignore them, but that they're being obscured from us by a giant conspiracy. Well, that's less believable than the you know, life as usual idea.
Well, at the time, what time was it?
The 90s? Do you want me to look up the year that it came out?
Sure.
I mean, conspiracy theories were on the rise. This was X-Files prime time. Right. Buffy season 4.
It's essentially what it is. It's just the X-Files, but they're much worse at keeping secrets.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like the X-Files, but they're much worse. No, but the X-Files don't keep secrets, though. The X-Files they try and reveal secrets, if anything. It's the job of Mulder
NSA.
and Scully to try and, the deep state is obscuring the truth from Mulder and Scully, who want to reveal the truth, to humanity.
Which I find counterproductive. I mean, if you're going to employ FBI agents and then allow them to investigate in these mysteries that you're attempting to cover up actively.
Why not just rant about the X-Files instead of talking about season 4 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer? By the way, it began in October 5th of 1999 and it ended May 23rd of 2000.
All right, so this was a crazy time,
This was around the Y2K virus hysteria.
Okay, yeah. So a lot of people were getting high, getting crazy, a little gay.
Is this how you're trying to justify the existence of the governing conspiracy? That people were high so they would believe anything?
Yes. Because the government was making them high.
Okay, all right, right, sure, whatever you say. So the point is the government plot, hasn't aged well, maybe. Or, it needed to be done differently if it wanted it to be good.
Apparently they can comprehend the technology to force someone to not be able to damage humans.
Yeah, they can prevent violence, essentially. Which... I just have a question. As the government, you have this technology where you can implant a chip. You can implant a chip into somebody's head and prevent them from doing violent stuff. I know, this is one of those things where, the government hides technology and then, 20 years later, they, open it to the public and companies can start selling it to people. But, wouldn't you implant that in, mass murderers and stuff? And then they would not be able to hurt anybody ever again?
How is implanting a vampire more productive than just killing vampire?
The whole point is that they're learning about it, but the whole thing is so half-baked.
Because it won't stay a non-violent vampire and then spread that vampirism to other vampires.
The idea, I think, they were like, this is the safest thing, then we can experiment on them, and we don't have to be worried about that. But the other thing is, it's so weird because the second that, after it all blows up, it's not like there's any aftermath. It's not like the government is like, all right, we're going to come in here and we're going to sweep up all this under the rug. It just gets forgotten about because there's too many loose ends to try and wrap up.
I mean, the entire city loses their voice at a time.
Yeah.
And that isn't investigated for decades.
Well, the government guys are, because Riley is there when Buffy is trying to kill the gentleman.
Okay.
So they do investigate that after it happens. But yeah, there's a good point that they're not very good at their job. and two, again, there's no cohesion because once you open up the government conspiracy angle, you can't just close that box. The government gets I was going to say the government gets things done, but the government isn't going to just drop it because it went poorly one time. They're going to keep pushing at this. They didn't stop when the first atom bomb models didn't turn out right. This is a huge thing for them, the discovery of magic. You think they're just going to forget about it?
I am become death, destroyer of worlds.
Yeah.
But with magic.
Right. With the characters out of high school, the show stumbles to figure out what to do with them. Another problem. So
Willow turns out to be gay.
Right. No, look, I don't like the judgment that you used in that sentence. But
sorry. Willow turns out to be gay.
There you go. Now it's good. That's not the problem. The problem is that, in high school, they have, clearly defined roles because they fit into these archetypes of high school students.
But they're exposed to a magic environment, which makes it go crazy with how they could end up.
Well, the other thing is that we get to, we're in that high school for so long, right? And it's haunted by all these different things. It gains an identity, right? It's some of these classmates are like warlocks, and this one classmate, she was invisible that one time. And one of the lockers opens to the nightmare dimension or whatever. It's a tangible setting. And then, of course, they blow it up at the end of season 3, which is good. The show is progressing, but they don't know how to make the college that interesting.
Because college isn't interesting.
Well, yeah, college isn't as interesting as high school, I guess. I mean, there are still people acting, like getting drunk and acting like idiots and weird stuff going on, but not to the same extent or in the same directions as it happens in high school because people are more mature.
Yeah, because you see
some of them.
Everyone knows the cliche of college students is everyone's open-minded, rethinking who they are.
Yeah.
And that's just questions. There's no answers to be sent out when you're using that setting.
There just aren't the same archetypes in college. Like, there are archetypes, I'm sure, like there are tropes about college, but not as many or the same kind of tropes as you can parody and use in high school. So there isn't as much to do. And the way I propose the way I propose that you deal with this problem is to make the university really interesting.
Because that's a great idea. I wonder why they didn't think of that. Thank you, Ezra.
And by making it really interesting, I mean make it like the Miskatonic University.
The Miskatonic.
You know what that is?
Is that a magic school?
In the works of H.P. Lovecraft, renowned author and racist, there's a
xenophobe. There's a difference.
Well, he
was fine with black citizens.
You can be two things at once, Jacob, and no, he wasn't. The point is that he created a thing called the Miskatonic University, and it's like a university where a bunch of like supernatural stuff keeps happening, and some of the like professors there are investigating this supernatural stuff, and they're getting like really, really into the occult and like black magic and summoning the old ones, right? Yeah. That's what season 4 should be about, is what I think. But
different though, right?
Well, like it should be flavored to Sunnydale, but I think like that's a good idea.
So they're trying to summon the first evil?
That could be the plot. I
think the first evil should never have existed. I'm just saying. That single-handedly ruined my interest in the show.
Well, look, really?
Yes,
because it showed up in season 3. Was your interest in the show ruined at that point?
Well,
or are you just talking about season 7?
Yeah, just season 7. Okay. I wasn't invested in. They weren't making it too important in the show then, so I still.
Well, because we can't change things that happened in season 3 according to the rules of Footnotes. We can only change things that happen in season 4 and after.
Right.
But we can't alter the past. We have to work with what we're given.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd be up for that. We'll talk about whether or not the government angle should even be in the season after we go through a few more of the bullet points.
Okay.
Spike's reintroduction is lazy, forced fan service.
Okay.
He only exists to crack jokes and for women to swoon over him.
I mean, I like that character.
I also like that. I like that character in season 2 and season 3. And then they brought him back and made him part of the permanent cast. And he's just not very interesting.
Now, by season 5, he's
kind of interesting in like he's obsessed with Buffy and I guess, but it never like there's nothing tangible to any of it because eventually it's just like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go get a soul. And then he goes off to Africa and he fights a demon and the demon gives him a soul in reward. And then he comes back and he's all messed up and then he's back and then he's crazy and then he's back to normal. And then he dies and the series is over. There's never anything tangible.
But then...
Right, but then he comes back in Angel as like a ghost or whatever and then eventually he gets his own comic spinoff because, but the point is, that's people loving the character. They're like, yes, I want more of this. And then they keep giving you more of it and it just gets worse and worse because it's not true to the character. Like at no point in season 2 or in season 3 was I like, this is a good guy, underneath this horrible exterior of a murderer. He's a good person who wants to like help people, or at least a redeemable person, or like it's not interesting then. And then you just have him like lollygagging for the entire season, just doing nothing.
Yeah, he literally was incapacitated from being able to do something.
Yes. Yeah, he could. Yeah, you got it. He couldn't do nothing.
And that's
He
just
didn't do anything.
That's just a metaphor for how the writers felt.
Yeah. No, yes, they had to neuter the character to make him stay with the cast, and that not only ruins him because he's no longer this badass cool guy, but also it ruins the dynamic. Right?
Right.
All right. Next bullet point. Adam, the villain, like the character of Professor Walsh, who is the person who made him in charge of the initiative, if you've forgotten that detail.
Yeah, I remember.
And Riley is uninteresting. They're all uninteresting. Also, Riley's friend Forrest. They are all uninteresting. They're all uninteresting. Oz's denouement is not very well handled.
Denouement?
Yeah. So
is that really what it is?
Yeah, because the final episode where he shows up isn't so much as the end as it is the resolution. So I think he falls in love with that werewolf girl, right? He falls in love with.
No, he doesn't fall in love.
He has sex with a werewolf girl, and
Right.
then he's like, "This is bad." And then like Willow was like, "Well, maybe we should need some time apart." And he's like, "This is really bad." And then he drives off to like Tibet or something to learn how to be, a good werewolf. And then he comes back and he's like, "I'm better now. We can be together." And then he's like, "Wait, you're a lesbian?" And then he almost attacks Tara, and then he leaves.
Almost.
No, I'm sorry. He attacks Tara and then he leaves. And I get
before being tortured by the government.
Do they capture and torture him?
Yes.
Oh. That's an important detail that, just left my mind.
Maybe it's because you weren't invested in the story arc.
Look, I get that the actor didn't want to do this. He's like
Seth Green.
Seth Green. Yeah, I was trying to remember his name and I couldn't. Seth Green. I get that Seth Green didn't want to be Oz anymore. That's okay. He's like a comedic actor. But you still have to try a little harder, guys. Come on. Like if you wanted to, you didn't even have to have him ever come back. At least, just give the character a good send-off, and that'll be it. But instead, it's it feels so deflated and weird, and his acting is weird, I guess, because he's really looking forward to getting out of there. He's just agitated. And, so that's not great.
A lot of it is because they just keep putting in standalone episodes right before they never show him again.
Yeah, he's not quite a main character. Well, I would have been fine. They could have given him a lot more comedic stuff if that's what the actor wanted. They could have made that character more exaggerated, and because he's got some really funny lines, but he doesn't appear that much. Is the thing. Most of the time, he doesn't talk. So that's the problem.
If you remember in the season 2 episode Earshot, he had a pretty awesome line in which Buffy was reading his
thoughts,
mind, and he was dissecting the philosophical results of being able to read one's mind.
I think, therefore I am, but if Buffy can hear what I'm thinking, do I exist, or do I only exist in her mind, or do we all exist in her mind?
Oh, no spoilers.
Yeah. Well, look, hey, the series came out in the 1990s, all right? 1999 to 2000 was season 4. We're already spoiling season 4. The whole thing is way too old. If you haven't watched the series, then
the entire series.
If you haven't watched up to see, yeah, come on. It's 2019. It's been over 20 years.
Almost 20 years.
It's been about 20 years since
about 20 years
since season 3. Yeah.
Yeah, since season 3, it's been over 20 years.
Oh, I was just getting to it after I finished Star Trek. Come on. All right, the references to Angel are copious and uncalled for. This one is pretty easy. They started a new show, and they wanted fans of this show to know about the new show, so they kept dropping hints about it to get you to watch the new show.
He just appears for 20 seconds.
Yeah, in one of the episodes, he's just hanging around. He doesn't really do anything, but he's there. Conflict resolution in the climax feels forced because it lacks cohesion with earlier parts of the season. So, in the last in the second to last episode, they get this whole thing where like Spike like spreads these rumors, so they start hating each other. Like he divides and conquers them, right?
Right.
But then like they find out it was all a lie, right? And then they end up hugging, I think, as they're climbing down into the initiative base, and it's just very forced. It's not. There's no cohesion to it.
Okay.
These things need to be set up further ahead. Like some of it is set up, but not very well.
No.
Come on.
Now, okay, were you finished with that part?
Yes.
Okay. There's one aspect that I think we've been either avoiding or just forgetting because it's meaningless. The good old new introduced, apparently interesting somehow character Tara. Ooh, no, another witch.
Wait. What's your problem with Tara?
She's kind of meaningless.
I think she's a pretty okay character. Like, she's more interesting than Riley.
Yeah, everyone's more interesting than Riley.
All right, fine. She's more interesting than Scott. You don't remember Scott, do you? Season 3.
I'm thinking.
He was another boring boyfriend. Why is it that they came up with, like, one interesting character for Buffy to date, and that was it?
Because he was the only main character boyfriend.
Yeah, I get it. Well, but like they write like Xander is such an interesting character, right?
Right.
Oz is an interesting character. Riley is not an interesting character. Scott is not an interesting character. That other boy that she later sort of has a thing with, not
Who?
an interesting character.
Wait,
in season 5, the one who turns out
5,
to be Glory.
I'm thinking.
He's
Right, yeah,
his name
the
might
medic.
be Hal or
The nurse.
Yeah, the nurse. His name might be Hal. I don't remember.
Let's call him Hal.
I can look it up, I'm sure. Like Glory.
We shouldn't be talking about this.
I'm rolling. No, I'm going to find it. No, this is important. I think Ben. His name is Ben. Yeah, Ben. So none of them are interesting.
None of them are interesting.
None of them are interesting.
We all realized this.
Yes.
Every time, after Buffy gets in bed with them, they become dicks.
Like, that's the thing that they do with the college boyfriend, where she like sleeps with him and then he acts like a jerk, right? And it's supposed to be like repeating what happened earlier, and it's supposed to be this character arc, but
nothing happens.
Yeah, but they did. Yeah, it's not like there's big resolution. I guess she figures out he's bad for her and knocks him out, and then that's it in a terrible episode. And it's not like it's just like a series of side plots stringing along the whole season because there isn't any thematic cohesion. There's thematic cohesion with season 2. Season 2 is well constructed. There's thematic cohesion with season 3. Things lead into other things, and they forms like a powerful climax that doesn't happen in season 4.
I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Do you want to start writing down like how to make it better?
All right.
Okay. First thing. So we need to make some tough decisions.
Actually, I want to make one more point.
All right.
The last episode of season 4 is one of the best episodes of the show.
The last episode of season 4 is one of the greatest episodes in the history of television.
Restless.
I wear the cheese. The cheese doesn't wear me.
I found a place to lay out the cheese.
I'm teaching Spike how to be a watcher.
He's got the stuff. That's great. I was interested in that for a little bit, but then I got out of it. You need to really commit.
And if Willow will stop stepping on everybody's lines, then the whole production will go seamlessly.
Okay.
I'm looking for a man. A salesman.
Okay. There's so many one-liners in that episode. We can't be talking about this all the time.
We're the government. We can do whatever we want.
Zoom in on the gun.
Let's make a fort. A fort. I'll get the pillows.
I've sold my body to fashion.
All right. Okay. Yes. Great. That episode is fantastic. Now, Decision number 1 is the Initiative, which, let's be honest, is not a great name. Is the Initiative going to be in the series, in the season?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. No Initiative.
Instead, it's going to be a cult.
In the college.
Yes, a campus-wide cult.
Okay, so let me ask you a question then, because in season 2 they have an episode, if I remember correctly. In season 2 there's an episode where there's a bunch of frat boys and they invite Buffy and Cordelia to go with them, and they worship this reptilian god who like gives them wealth basically in return for them sacrificing girls to him. So that's something that they deal with in season 2. Are we gonna? Is there gonna be something like that where there's like a fraternity who like worships an evil? I mean, that could be a thing that happens in the season. But the question I have for you is, who's going to be the big bad? Is it going to be like the dean? Is it going to be a specific professor? What are we thinking?
Let's make it the.
I'm thinking. Because here's what I'm imagining, right? So what if like I'm imagining like one of the professors is evil, or one of the professors worships this like ancient god, right?
Okay.
That professor like does a specific ritual, and he like the spirit of the ancient, like the evil god, right, goes into the body of one of the students.
Okay. Does it matter which student?
Well, I was thinking it would be cool if the student was Buffy's roommate.
Okay. Wait.
Yes.
That's kind of what happened.
Is it?
Well, wait.
The roommate turns out to be a demon, but that's not what happens in the...
But it was a demon, not a person possessed by a demon?
Yes, it was a demon.
Okay.
She was a complete demon. She was a whole demon. She was pure demon.
Okay.
It was no... Yeah.
Stop treating me like I'm 100!
Yeah, that was great. That payoff was pretty funny, even if the episode itself was kind of cheesy and boring, I guess. But yeah, I think that would be great. So Buffy becomes best friends with her roommate, right?
No homo.
Jacob,
type that down.
Why do you keep having to? If you could just lay off the homophobic jokes for like 2 seconds, I would really appreciate that, just for future reference.
We have a watch right here. I'll keep track.
So Buffy becomes fast friends with her roommate. She confides some stuff in her. And let me look up the roommate's name so that we can use it. Season 4.
I mean, wait, does it have to be that roommate's personality?
No, she can have a different personality.
Then why does she need that name?
Well, we could make up a name, Jacob, but I prefer to take the actual name and
because it's more...
Kathy. All right, Kathy, with her friend, Kathy.
Okay.
I want the demon to be in a girl. That sounded wrong. I apologize. I want the ancient god to be possessing the body of a young woman. There we go. So then, the professor of... I don't know, what do you think? Should it be Professor Walsh, the professor of psychology, or...
Oh, that would be funny, right? Psychology, because it isn't a real science.
It could be... No, that's not where I was going with that. I was thinking
what about politics?
The professor of occultism or something.
Debate team?
Like a history or something.
No, I wanted to...
You want it to be completely unrelated to his fascination with the occult?
Yeah.
It's not like he's a worldly professor who's collected all these weird artifacts like Giles has. He's actually just... He's got a really mundane job, but he has all the artifacts nonetheless.
What if he does quantum theory?
Physicist?
Yeah, but specifically quantum theory.
Professor of physics. Walsh. Summons an ancient evil and imbues it into Kathy, his number one student.
Okay.
Accidentally.
Right.
He wanted to put it in himself, but he accidentally puts it into her because she walks into the room. She's like, "Professor," and there's like an explosion, right? And then he's like lying on the ground, and like her eyes turn black, and then they turn back to normal, and she like stares at him.
I've been waiting.
Yeah, and she's like, "Took you long enough." Right.
Wait, is it going to have her voice?
No, it's gonna be. Yes, I'm imagining when it's possessing her, it's speaking through her voice.
Okay.
All right, got it. So, Kathy...
I thought it would be kind of funny to have a really low voice with this innocent girl's face.
Well, it could be that at certain points her voice gets like super deep. Like when she's angry, it goes like super deep.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Right, okay, so Kathy has black eyes when channeling power, eats human flesh, and
okay,
has a deep voice when it wants to. Well, what should we call it? Should it be the first evil? Because they set that up in the third season.
Oh,
but you don't want to do that at all.
Okay.
Well, I feel like
Wait.
the first evil is more interesting of an idea if it can possess people and it's not just like a spirit that like speaks to guys.
Okay.
Tells them to do bad things.
Mostly, I just don't like the name.
The first evil? Yeah. Okay, well, we can just come up with a cool name for whatever demon it is.
I mean, that doesn't have to be its name. That could just be that what it said when it was introduced. Right?
Huh?
It didn't have to.
Yeah, no. It can have like an actual name besides the first evil.
Yeah.
Like we can just make something up.
Okay. Right.
How does
what?
Takar? Takathar, or how about it has like a super hard to pronounce name. Okay, yeah, this can be a reoccurring gag. So the ancient evil has a super difficult to pronounce name, which Walsh refers to it as. But it calls itself by like the first three letters of the name
because it's practical.
Yeah, because it's more practical. Like it's more efficient. But by the first three letters of its name, which is like
Annie.
It could be like Anne or Anna. Like it could be that its name is like Anna Cathathar, and then it's like shortened to ANA, which is Anna.
Right. Okay.
Anna. There we go.
Ina.
No, or like Ina.
Ina. No.
What's more? Yeah, Anna is more threatening. So, Kathy has black eyes when channeling Anna, eats human flesh, and has a deep voice when it wants to intimidate people. Are we making it the same thing as the first evil, or are we making it like a different ancient creature?
Well, look, when it was introduced, it had very vague details.
Oh.
So we could give it any sort of personality we want. The way I saw it when it was introduced, it seemed really pretentious and narcissistic.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be like the classic devil thing, where it's like whispering in people's ears, but that makes it a not very dynamic villain because it relies on other people to do bad stuff.
Yeah, and it just isn't like the other big bads.
Yeah, well, that's also true. Well, I think that this thing, it shouldn't, like Anna, shouldn't be the same as Adam was. It shouldn't be that's just like physically large and like sociopathically indifferent. Because that's what made Adam boring, is that he didn't have any like personality. Because like Angel was like interesting because he was like a torturer. He was like psychologically manipulative.
Angelus.
Yeah, Angelus, right. Whatever. Angelus was like psychologically manipulative and dangerous. Like he was extremely dangerous, right? And then like the mayor is cool because he's like, you know, he giggles and stuff, and right. He's like quirky. He's like a 1950s man. And then like
he's actually really old.
Yeah, he's actually like ancient. He's been alive since like because I believe if I remember reading the backstory correctly, he found the town. He founded the town, right? Okay. He found it. He was like a pioneer back in the 1700s. And the demons were like, "You work for us now, or you die." And he was like, "All right, sure thing, Mr. Demon." So yeah, that can be it. All right. So, but Anna has to have like besides it. So it has like a weird name, right? It has like an extremely long name. So it's like extremely old and it's difficult to pronounce. It probably like knows all languages.
Is that going to matter?
Well, no, I'm trying to figure out what the personality of the villain is so that it can define what the route the season is going to take.
I suppose he'll just... What if it just keeps kidnapping people and then...
First, it should be that people keep getting kidnapped and eaten.
Okay.
Getting kidnapped and eaten. Done. Right. But I think that Anna should want to possess either Buffy or possibly Faith. It should want to possess another character. That should be its main motivation, is to like hop from body to body. It wants to get into like the strongest possible body.
Okay. So the victims are steadily becoming more related, directed toward Buffy.
Well, I was thinking like since it's Kathy, since it's her roommate, it could be that it's like slowly poisoning her or like psychologically poisoning her with like weird stuff.
So she becomes paranoid?
Yeah, it's like giving her nightmares and like manipulating her into forcing other people away so that it like can isolate her and then take over her personality.
So it's a metaphor for a toxic relationship?
Yes, it's a metaphor for a toxic relationship.
All right.
Anna is a metaphor for a toxic relationship. Walsh is Anna's minion. He helps it clean up its cannibalism and assists it in its schemes until he eventually he has to tell someone.
Right.
He tells.
So will there become more followers
of Anna?
Yeah.
It could be that at some point it rallies. So we have like a mob. So you know, like the scene where the guy, where the Joker walks in on the meeting between all the different mob bosses who are discussing what to do about Batman in The Dark Knight. We get that, but it's like the different demon bosses, and they're talking about Buffy, and it like walks in and it informs them like, "I am Anna Cthulhu of the Summon of the Fire coming to my right," and they're like, "What? Who?" Like, it's so old that even the demons don't know what it is, and it says, "I was around like before, you know, even your great great ancestors crawled forth from their pits, right? And you will work for me now." And then it like displays its power by like ripping one of them in half and like kicking another one like its heart through the body.
Oh, that would be so cool.
So Anna makes the demon bosses work for it and cleans up the streets of Sunnydale so that Buffy doesn't have much to do.
And so she focuses more on her schoolwork.
Yeah. I got it. No, I think this is... Well, it can be like... It could be that she's super... So I've got it. So like So Buffy's problem should be... Buffy is super stressed doing all of her college classes and being a slayer at the same time.
Right. What?
Well, so in season 4, so Willow is attending the same college, right?
Right.
We're gonna have her end up in a relationship with Tara, presumably, right?
Open relationship?
No, end up in a relationship with Tara.
Okay.
No, Jacob, get your mind out of the gutter.
You said it!
I did not.
You said it wrong.
You thought I said it.
You said it wrong.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! What? So Willow is in college. Is Xander in college? Because there's a big thing in season 4 where they have it that Xander isn't attending college. He's like working as an ice cream man, and he feels like devalued because of that, because he's not like moving up in the world. He's like stuck in the same place. I'm just wondering what are the logistics of this? How are we going to set this thing up?
Okay.
Yes.
So
he's yes. Okay.
He's planning to go next year.
Yeah, he's like saving up.
Right. And so since his connection with Buffy leads to an encounter with Anna.
Yeah.
And
he gets killed.
No.
Okay, never mind.
Anna isn't willing to kill him because of his connections with Buffy.
Yeah.
So instead, he just makes him forget.
It
just makes him
can
forget.
change memories?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking like it could be that it wants to like isolate Buffy, so it could be that it's like messing up each one of them, because if I was imagining like it invades her dreams, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it can do that, then I'm imagining like it manipulates Willow into accidentally doing some like terrible curse, and then it manipulates Oz into accidentally like killing someone or hurting someone so much that he has to go away, right?
Okay.
So it manipulates them into really like messing up so that Buffy.
Wait, when did Oz go away the first time?
He goes. We just discussed it. He goes away in the 4th season after he gets. After he has sex with the werewolf lady.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
How could you forget so quickly?
I thought
it was literally like 30 minutes ago.
I thought he might have just disappeared at the end of season 3.
No, Jacob. He appears in multiple episodes of the 4th season.
Okay. Now, what were we talking about? Right.
I'm trying to figure out what is so Anna. So the toxic relationship between Anna and Buffy is going to be the main thing of this season, right?
Yeah.
And but I'm trying to figure out what are the arcs for the other characters. Like we need to figure out what is Xander's arc, what is Willow's arc, what is Giles's arc, and then we have that. And I don't want to be that guy, but maybe Giles should go away.
What?
I love not Anthony Hopkins. I love Anthony Head. But it's the same thing with Xander, where they like don't know what to do with the character, so the character is just like sort of floundering in indifference. Like they're just like kind of like bored. They don't know what to do with themselves because they're no longer part of the action technically. Okay. So and then they just have everyone hanging out at Giles's house. I feel like it should be that Giles maybe takes a vacation.
And he goes to England to become a warlock.
Or, yeah, like he leaves to do something else, to like train with some people, or like accomplish some goal that he has. Like he decides, I'm gonna go do this thing. Like maybe he's like, I need to like research the first evil or something like that, because it's like this dangerous thing. Like the astrological signs are indicating that something bad is going to happen, and he gets called back to England.
Right, and his intelligence and his neuroticism, it makes him really stressed that he can't figure it out, and so that's sort of his.
Wait, do we have like a side? Do we like see him in England? Do we have a side plot where he's like in England researching this thing, or
no? He's researching it in Sunnydale,
Well, because the other thing we could do is have Giles become a professor at the college, but the only way that would work is it would have to be like the dean was like, "Yes, I'll hire you as a professor," right?
Right.
Which seems, it doesn't seem like it would make sense because he's not working with the Watchers anymore. It's not like they can help him just become like an employee at a place so that he can stay with the Slayer. The Watchers aren't even working with Buffy at this
forgot about
point.
the Council of the Watchers. What motivated them to start doing that?
What do you mean? They're
all the things
they do. Well, they explain later that the Watchers are descended from the guys who put a demon inside the first Slayer to make her invincible, basically. Okay. Like that organization is a form of an original organization, which was like a bunch of wise men who summoned a demon and put it inside a young woman.
Okay. But that wasn't, but they weren't mentoring the Slayers by then.
No, they weren't mentoring the Slayers at that point. No,
okay.
Well, they actually discussed that the first Slayer wasn't mentored. Nobody helped her. She just had to kill a bunch of things she had to figure out how to do this on her own, basically.
Yeah.
That's something that they discuss in the last episode of the season. But it's not really important right now. What's important is we figure out what to do with the characters. So is Giles going to go away? Is it going to be like the Council of Watchers calls and they're like, look, we have a major problem. The stars are aligned for Anna Cthulhu to return, right?
Yeah.
For Anna Cthulhu to return within this year, right? And we're trying to figure out, how she will return. How it will return, right? And what it wants. So they're like, we apologize for what happened as long as you come and help us, basically.
Yeah.
So all right, got it. So Giles gets called away to London to help the council. Or what if, okay, I've got it, right. Season 4 begins with us seeing the council room, the place where they work, the building where the Council of Watchers works. So we're seeing the building where the Council of Watchers works. We pan inside and see like body after body.
Okay.
And then hard cut to Buffy talking to her mom about college stuff.
Kind of college stuff.
Like get textbook prices.
It's the poor.
About textbook prices. Yeah. And like Buffy is concerned about them being able to pay for them.
But then Anna uses its attachments to fund for the textbooks to be more closely attached to Buffy.
Possibly. I don't look. Just we'll get there when we get there. And Buffy is concerned about how much they cost, right? At the end of episode 2 of this season, Giles gets called away to learn with the help of the council, who tried to interrupt the ceremony. Who tried to interrupt the opening of the portal to Anna Cthulhu.
Yeah. To unleash its full power.
Yeah. Like they knew that it was coming, and so they performed a ritual to try and stop it from coming, and the ritual backfired, and a bunch of them died. Basically, it like killed them.
That kind of happened in another arc.
Yes,
with the demon that possesses the Giles's old friends.
That's a different thing,
right?
No, that's a completely different thing. They were a bunch of like college like were a bunch of like young people who were like experimenting with drugs and magic, and they accidentally summoned an evil demon, and the evil demon like possessed a body to help it like murder all of them because it's like part of a pact. It has to kill them to like stay in the world or something. Look, I think there's a big enough distinction between these two things. Like, first of all, that was only people that he knew. This is like most of the council gets wiped out, is what I was imagining. That's why they're so desperate.
How big is the council?
I don't know, like 20 people.
I mean, I assume it would be pretty big.
Yes, it's pretty big.
Long chain of people.
Well, most of the council who are in England. There are other members of the council, obviously, but it's not the same thing.
Okay. Yeah. Willow's arc.
Okay, so Giles goes. So does Giles come back at the end of the season?
Of course he comes back.
All right.
We can't have a season 5 without Giles.
So here's what happens, right? Giles comes back towards the end of season 4, and he is the one who talks Buffy down from joining with Anna. Because she's like emotionally like distraught at this point, and she like breaks down. But like it can be that she like beat up all her other friends at this point, but like his guidance, because he's like a father figure to her. This is like a different relationship than she has with her friends.
Okay,
because he's like a parent. So,
but he's like, leaving anyway, so she doesn't worry about it. Doesn't worry about that.
This only happens at the end of the season. This is part of the climax. Is what I'm mentioning.
Okay. Sorry, I was confused.
Breaks down in his arms. She breaks down in his arms. Right. Okay. Willow goes to college. Right. She joins the Wicca group. Right, and they're all fake except for Tara. Right. Or, I mean, we can change that if you want. It can be that like Tara's a roommate or her in the next door roommate. Anyway, well, first we should decide what happens to Oz. Oz gets manipulated by Anna into murdering someone.
No one important?
It should be someone important.
No one important to Buffy, though, right?
Well, I was thinking maybe like Buffy has a college boyfriend, and then Oz accidentally kills him.
And is he going to be interesting?
Well, I was thinking the college boyfriend would be Riley. Riley can be more interesting. We can make him like even more Southern, if you want.
Right. And he has the personality of a soldier, but he isn't actually a soldier.
Yeah, he has the personality of a soldier, but he isn't actually a soldier.
That makes it a lot better, actually.
Okay. So Riley is Buffy's boyfriend early in the season, and has the personality of a soldier, but isn't a soldier. He also isn't freaked out by what Buffy is doing.
Because...
Well, I was thinking, like, what if he, like, grew up in, like, the Texas version of Sunnydale? So he's used to, like, shooting demons with shotguns. I don't know what happens in True Blood. Maybe does it take place in the desert? Is that the premise?
No, I mean, it takes place in the South.
In the South, and it's like, well, yeah, it can be kind of like that. He's like he comes from another place. He's like used to demons, basically, or vampires or whatever.
And then we get a crossover.
He is.
No,
that series doesn't exist yet, Jacob. We're still writing in 1999 to 2000, all right? Because he's used to that stuff, yo. Oz gets manipulated by Anna.
That thug life.
Gets manipulated by Anna into
vampire thug life,
bottling up his werewolf emotions. Okay, or actually, no. It could be like, I'm imagining he goes to college, right? He's already into drugs. He experiments even deeper with Oz experiments super with drugs. It's a stupid sentence, but it works. Experiments with drugs. Oz experiments with magic drugs, all right?
With
magic drugs. Anna manipulates him with nightmares into being suspicious of Riley.
Okay. Okay.
And then when he turns, he kills Riley.
Yeah. And Buffy just goes crazy.
Yeah, Buffy beats the shit out of him. And
it's the whole thing.
He leaves town forever.
Really emotional.
Yeah. And he leaves town forever. Because he cannot come back. Because he killed Riley.
Right.
First of all, he broke Buffy's heart. And second of all, like, Riley's parents, they're not going to be too happy about that.
We find out 2 seasons later that he killed himself.
What?
He hung himself alone in an apartment.
No, we don't have to go into that now, okay? We wrapped up Oz's story. We wrapped up Giles' story. We wrapped up Riley's story. Willow. After Oz leaves, she gets into a lesbian relationship with Tara.
Okay.
Oz leaves.
Now, the thing about that, I just want to say...
Yes? Look, it's okay if you don't like the character of Tara.
No, and the problem is... No, there's no problem.
There's no problem?
No.
Right. Cool. Great. After Oz leaves, she gets into a lesbian relationship with Tara, right? She is concerned about how Buffy feels about her and Tara and doesn't tell her.
Yeah, that was brought up in a single sentence in the original season, and never again.
No, that should be her. It should be that she has to keep coming out. So first we see like.
Oh, so Anna makes Buffy homophobic?
No, she doesn't. No, I'm imagining that she hides this from Buffy, and then like Anna uses that to feed into Buffy's paranoia because Willow is hiding something from her.
And once she finally comes out, it doesn't matter anymore.
So I'm imagining like Willow, by the time it comes out, like Buffy doesn't care, but Willow builds it up in her head because I imagine like Willow tells her mother, right? And her mother has an awful reaction.
Wait, do we ever see Willow's mother?
Yes, in one episode, Gingerbread.
Thinking.
It's in season 3. It's the one where there's a demon. It's like Hansel and Gretel, and it like makes people bigoted towards witches.
Yeah.
It's like how the demon feeds on like bigotry.
I remember that. I don't remember.
Willow's mother appears in that episode. You just have to believe me, all right? She never appears again, but she's going to in our version of season 4.
Oh, that reminds me. There's this one girl who turns into a mouse.
Yes, Amy. So she turns into a mouse in season 3.
And that takes...
She has her as a pet.
And that takes years for them to figure out before she suddenly remembers, oh yeah, we have a pet mouse that used to be a human. No.
They talk about it. They call that mouse Amy. Willow has her as a pet in college. They just never they're like unable to turn her back into human form until the 6th season. Yeah, but once they do, it's just... You know what? I'm gonna do it now. And then she opens a book and goes, Ouromoros, abracadabra, and it happens instantly. As if she already knew it, but she forgot. Yeah, well, it's like a running gag, but it does seem kind of weird. Because I always thought it was like kind of weird. It seemed kind of cruel that they weren't trying harder, but I thought it was that they tried to turn her back and it didn't work. So yeah, that happened at the end of the episode. Yeah. What if the mouse what if she has magic powers even though she's a mouse? We don't need to go into this much depth. Right. Why don't we just wrap up Willow's story and weird. Xander's story? And I don't think we need to necessarily go into all that, is all I'm saying. Okay. I think we're good. We'll talk about that in later episodes. If you want, we can give Tara more of a personality. I think she has a personality. She's like a even shyer version of Willow. She's like less confident. Yeah. Because she came from like. I'd take it back. It wasn't that bad. Okay. Because their family thought she was half demon. Willow tells her and her mother has an awful reaction. She she should tell one person and that person has an awful reaction. She tells another person and that person has an awful reaction, right?
Right. Who?
Whom? I'm trying to think. What if it's like she tells her mother has an awful reaction. She hasn't like kissed Tara yet, but she feels this way about her.
Yeah.
She ends up telling Oz, right?
Okay.
And then he's like all messed up because of what Anna did to, like, was giving him nightmares and shit, right? So
she has no way. He has no way of helping her.
Yeah, he has no way of
helping
her. He's like super messed up, and she thinks it's just because of the drugs, but it's really because Anna has been like messing with his hallucinations, right? And giving him weird, like, terrible, violent visions about Riley doing bad stuff. And
I really like this idea.
Willow doing bad stuff. Yes. So then, like, so he like pushes her away, right? Like she feels really bad, right? After Oz leaves, she tells Oz, and he gets super upset. Not like bigoted, but like upset.
But they're still in the relationship?
Yeah, they're still in a relationship at this point. This is before he's killed anyone.
Okay.
Right. After Oz kills Riley and goes away, she, falls into the arms of Tara.
Okay.
And they begin a secret relationship.
Right.
Sexual
relationship.
And they begin a secret relation.
Partly sexual, partly emotional.
And they begin a secret relationship because Tara's parents are in town and they don't know about this.
Okay. Wait, Tara's parents are in town?
Yeah, they live in Sunnydale.
Because that happens in...
in season 5, they show up and they're like demons or something.
Are they?
Yes.
I thought they just...
Look, they're evil in some way. I don't remember how.
They were like Wiccans, and they thought that Tara was part demon. Yeah,
something like that. The point is, they were bigoted, and they'll be bigoted in this, but they just won't. Yeah, because Tara's parents live in Sunnydale, and they are, bigots, and
they live outside of Sunnydale. They live
out. Yes, they live outside Sunnydale. And they brew potions in a trailer park.
That's always how I imagined them, living in a trailer.
Yeah,
in the forest.
They brew potions in a trailer park, and they are like super restrictive Wiccans.
Yeah.
Right. Got it. Yeah. So then Willow hides this from Buffy, and it causes a rift between them, pushing
already
Buffy toward Anna. Well, we're slowly building towards it, Jacob. This is still like 3/4 of the way through the season.
Okay.
This is the point where this finally happens, right?
Yeah.
And so here's my other idea, and tell me what you think about this. I'm imagining, right, like Buffy like gives in to Anna, right? Like Anna's jumps out at Kathy. Kathy's body like collapses and like rots away. Anna is inside Buffy, and she just becomes like the Dark Slayer, right? She just like kills whoever does, like she enforces like a dystopian state basically on Sunnydale.
Okay.
She's like, I'm the leader of this place. You will all do what I say or else, right? And I'm imagining like Willow and Xander, right? Willow, Xander, what's her name? Anya and Tara, right? They go and, or actually first,
wait, what was Anya doing?
At one point, give me a second, all right?
Okay.
At one point, Tara gets kidnapped by her family.
Really restricted.
Yeah, but gets kidnapped by her family, and Willow has to go save her. And Willow and Xander have to go save her.
Yeah. Your other friends left you, but I'm more open-minded than that.
Well, yeah, and then we get a heartwarming thing where Willow tells Xander, and he like embraces her. He tells her like it's okay, and she like cries.
Right, because
they've been friends since they've been toddlers. Yeah, he's not gonna like give up on her. Tells Xander, and he tells her it's perfectly fine, and she cries. Yeah, there we go. And then, so that's one thing that will happen in the season. But another thing is, I'm imagining, like, what if, right? So Buffy's possessed by Anya, right? Who's just, like, enslaving people, basically, to, like, build, like, weird obelisks, I'm imagining.
You said Anya.
Anna, sorry.
Let's say Anna.
Should we? Anna. Well, we can change the names.
Because we don't want to confuse.
Yeah, we don't want to confuse anybody. It's not like Buffy is referred to as Anne at one point in season 3. No, I'm imagining,
that's her
like,
middle name.
What if they wake up Faith to fight Buffy? And we get like a climate, and then it's
they
like
wake her up.
Yes. Well, I'm imagining either they like wake her up using magic because she's in a coma. She's in a coma. She was in a coma at the end of season 3.
Okay, but when did she get out of that?
Well, in season 4, she wakes up from the coma and her mind switches with Buffy.
Right.
Yes, and that's an awesome.
Yeah, I fully remember that.
And that's an awesome episode. And then she goes to Angel, right, where she ends up in jail.
Okay.
What I'm thinking, right, is just 2 possibilities. One can be that that doesn't happen. She's in a coma, and they, like, Tara and Willow perform some magic ritual that, like, restores her and, like, wakes her up, right? And they convince her to help them to stop Buffy, basically.
Right.
After she, like, I imagine she beats up a bunch of people. They follow after her. They eventually catch up with her, and she agrees that she wants to do something good, at least. Because like Anna's gonna, like, do something super horrible, basically.
I mean, we don't have to say I want to redeem myself.
Not Anya. Yeah, she did. Yeah, no, it can't be that. It doesn't have to be that obvious, but it can be that she changed in the coma, or we could have that she wakes up, switches minds with Buffy. Right, the whole plot line goes. It's the exact same.
Okay.
But after she goes to jail, Willow, Xander, Tara, and Anya then bust her out of jail to help them defeat Anna.
Okay. So that's really early in the season.
Yeah, she goes to jail early in the season, and then towards the end of the season, they bust her out to help them defeat Anna in, like, the last couple episodes.
Right.
And then we get a reversal of what happened in the 3rd season, where Faith had gone bad and Buffy was good, and the 2 of them were fighting. And in this, Buffy has gone bad and Faith is trying to be a better person, right? And Anna defeats Faith, right? Again, just like in the 3rd season, but then is defeated by, like, Giles.
Wait, who defeats Faith?
Anna in Buffy's body.
Okay.
Like, they have a fight, but she defeats her.
Okay.
And I'm imagining Faith dies. Defending the town that she tried to destroy previously. Yes. No.
Wait a second.
What?
Wait a second.
Yes. What?
How does No, I'm going to do that later.
What are we thinking?
No. That has nothing to do with this right now.
Okay, all right. That's fine. We can talk about it some other time. But what do you think of that idea?
Yes.
Okay. So everything is the same with Faith until a couple episodes from the last one. Tara and Willow teleport her out of prison and beg her to help them defeat Buffy. Faith is resistant at first, but she, like, I don't know, she sees like a young girl's, like, doll lying in the street, implying the young girl has died. She sees, like, something awful happening in Sunnydale.
Okay.
Right. She sees something awful and returns in the and sees something awful. Anna defeats Xander, Willow, Tara, and Anya easily, and then Faith shows up.
Okay.
At the 9th hour.
Yeah.
Faith holds Faith stops. So what should? So I don't want it to be that Anna wants to just destroy the world.
Okay.
That it seems like the kind of thing that this old elder being would want to do, but I feel like she should have a different motivation because it's the same thing with the last two people.
Right.
Or Angelus didn't want to. Did he want to destroy the world? Was he going to?
I think he didn't care.
Yeah, no, yeah. He wanted. He
was going to unleash the demon.
Yeah, he was going to unleash some demon that would destroy the world for him.
Right.
Basically. No, I remember because he was like asking Giles for the rights to summon the demon, and Giles was like, "Well, you have to wear a tutu and then bend over, right?"
Yeah.
So I want it to be that he's not trying that Anna is not trying to destroy the world. Kathy is not trying to destroy the world, but is trying to maybe revert the world. Like maybe Anna is like, I'm going to bring back all my friends. Like they've got all the other ancient demons have gone extinct, basically, and I'm going to resurrect them.
Okay.
So Faith like destroys the pedestal that Anna needs to resurrect the old ones.
Okay.
And Anna like just I don't know, like just stabs her to death.
Okay. Wait. But now. Destroys. Okay. And this is the climax, right?
Yes, this is the climax. Then Giles shows up.
Yeah. Okay.
Buffy rejects Anna's influence, and Anna gets trapped in a bottle or something.
Yeah.
Or it could be that they put Anna into another body that they then trap somehow.
Or they just turn her into a statue. I don't know. You can somehow do that to demons.
I've got it. Giles shows up and regroups with Willow and Tara. They make a ritual that it awakens the demon inside Buffy, basically, to defeat Anna.
Okay, is this confirmed?
What?
The demon thing?
Yes, they definitely put a demon inside the first Slayer, and the demon, it's like an Avatar thing where the demon goes into the next girl.
Then how does it possess both Buffy and Faith at the same time?
It's because it's a very... Look, I didn't write the rules to this universe, okay? It wasn't my idea to have Buffy die and have a new Slayer show up, but that's the situation that we're in, okay? We're just going to have to
I didn't have a problem with that idea, but now I do.
Damn you.
Damn you. Damn you. Just win.
Okay, I've got it. What if, right, so she stabs Faith, she kills Faith, right? Okay. Instead of the demon going from Faith into a new Slayer, the demon has been split, right, between Buffy and Faith.
Okay.
The Slayer demon.
Right.
The Slayer demon then regroups into Buffy. It goes back from Faith into her body.
Why didn't that happen before?
Because Faith hadn't died until now.
But why didn't that happen with Kendra?
Damn you. Why do you have to do this to me?
I'm fixing the plot hole.
Very, very well. If you want to be all high and mighty about it, fine. Then, so Giles saves, shows up to find that Sunnydale is half destroyed. He and Tara, so Anna has captured Willow and Xander.
Okay. Yeah.
Giles and Tara and Anya perform a ritual.
Perform a ritual
reinstate the Slayer demon fully into Buffy's body.
Now that's good.
Because Giles knows that it will drive the Anna spirit out.
Because there ain't enough room for two spirits in here.
There ain't enough room in this body for the both of us. Because Giles knows that the two demons will not work together.
Because they hate each other.
Will not work together.
They knew each other in high school.
Yeah, it can be something like that. Well, they are both like really old, so I'm imagining like there could be some old animosity between those two demons, or it can be at least that these types of demons do not like each other. They want the body to themselves, basically.
Okay.
Or mostly to themselves in this case, right? Giles shows up and stops Anna from killing Willow and Xander, and stalls long enough for Tara and Anya to complete the ritual.
Okay.
The demon is reinstated.
Right.
But like we see a young girl like on the other side of the world. We can see like after Faith dies, we see like a young girl in like Japan, right, gets the power, and then we see her lose the power, right, where the demon went from Faith into her, but then they do the ritual which returns it to Buffy.
Okay. So that's the thing that can happen?
We're making it up as we go along.
Right. Okay.
Pain, and then lose the Slayer power. The Slayer demon rebels against Anna, and Giles convinces Buffy to let Anna go. Or we could just, it could just be that she's called Kathy. Like, it could be she has this really long name. It has this really long name, and he's like, what's the name of this vessel? And it says, Kathy. And he says, Kathy. And he's like, Kathy, I see. It could be that it's just called that. I like that a lot, but either way. So there we go.
Yeah,
That's
Kathy.
Kathy. And here, let me just. All right. F. I'm gonna control and find Anna. Replace with Kathy. Replace all. Done. Okay. So to let Kathy.
Actually, that might. Are you sure there aren't any other words that have A-N-A in it? Because that would apply to those as well. You can fix that later.
It all seems to be pretty fine. I think because I did it capitalized, so it's good. I think the capitalization was on.
Yeah, I wasn't sure
so
if
that
makes a difference or not.
No, it does. If you could look, we're not discussing the functions of Google Documents right now. All right, we're almost done.
Okay.
Guile.
He didn't even program her to pronounce my name right.
Giles traps the Kathy in a jar in an ancient Mesopotamian jar. Didn't spell Mesopotamian right, but that's okay. All right, Mesopotamian jar. And then, fine, Xander's arc. We just have to figure this out, and then we'll be done.
Okay. Xander's arc is he's saving up for college.
Okay.
He's also dating Anya.
That's right.
And
he's got a job. And
yes.
Yeah.
And he was working with Willow before to unkidnap Tara.
Yeah, he does that. Yeah, but that's just like 1 or 2 episodes that he's involved in that arc. Basically, it should be that what's his big thing? Like Willow's thing is accepting herself and finding support in her friends, right?
Xander.
Buffy's thing is the toxic relationship.
Okay.
What is Xander's thing? What's his
Getting
arc?
smarter.
See, there was that thing I was thinking of, like, what if he becomes their Giles, sort of?
Okay.
Like, he starts researching demonology because he wants to be helpful to them.
Right. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then, yeah, I like that.
Okay, Xander starts researching demonology because he wants to be more helpful. He still talks in like snarky pop culture references.
Okay. Yeah.
But
obviously.
Obviously.
We can retcon his personality.
I know, but he refers to, but he uses that terminology for like demon stuff.
Right.
To explain like how different things work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it could be that like imagine like a scene where he's like just like complaining about how useless he is to Anya, and she's like, "For God's sake, are you going to like she just like outright like she's so sick of it by this point that she just tells him like, "Are you going to do something about it or not?" And he decides he is.
Yeah.
I'm imagining that in like episode 4 or 5 of the season.
Maybe I should just join the army.
Yeah.
You know they have to wake you up really early. Okay, I'm not joining the army.
Okay, I think we got it. Yeah, that's it. Then those are the characters. And then I think the question is, who does Walsh tell about Anna? Because he betrays it at some point and tells... Kathy, sorry. Who does he eventually tells who about Kathy? Because Giles isn't there at this point. It could be Willow or Tara.
Riley?
No, I think Riley is dead by now.
Yeah.
Riley's bitten the dust, boy. He's not around no more. It has to be like, I think it's probably going to be Willow. And then like Willow tries to confront Buffy about what Walsh told her. And Buffy just like outright rejects her.
Right.
And yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right, and then Kathy kills him.
Okay. Now, apparently, Buffy has been running on half strength this whole time. So now that now that the full spirit is inside.
Right. Well, and if you want to, we can still have the exact same ending episode where they have the weird psychedelic dream trip, because now the Slayer spirit is fully reinstated in her body and it doesn't like what's been going on.
Okay, but it would be different, right?
Yeah, it would be different because their personalities would be different at this point.
Yeah, but
we can have the same kind of psychedelic thing be the last episode of the season.
It's affecting all of them at the same time?
Well, it's the same in the original. It was that they like summoned the power of it to defeat Adam.
They combined their abilities, and that awakened the first Slayer because he was upset. She was upset that
Buffy was relying on other people's help.
Yeah,
she said we must be alone. Basically,
yeah,
we have to work alone. We can still have that if you want.
Yeah, but in this, it doesn't need that. Or it doesn't need for there to be a spiritual connection between them for it to realize.
Yeah, no. Yeah, well, because it no, we don't. Yeah, we can still. Yeah, pretty much. It can be the same plot line and still work okay, I think.
All right.
All right, great. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Footnotes. It went on a little longer than I thought it would, but then the TV episodes are always longer than the movie episodes. Well, my voice is really raw right now, as I'm sure my brother is. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. We're going to probably call it off for now. And the next episode is going to be after last season, right?
Right. This was in our original channel, but we're going to remake it.
Yeah, we're going to redo it
in this official channel.
Yeah, pretty much. And maybe use the characters' names. We'll see if there's an after last.
I don't think they had names.
They didn't have names? They must have had names. Someone must have referred to somebody else by names at some point in that film. Well,
had they?
In any case, the next episode will probably be after last season, and then we'll probably do another movie. But we should be doing season 6.
5.
Do we need to do season 5?
I mean, was it that good?
We'll probably be doing another season of Buffy at some point. We haven't decided yet, but we will be revisiting the series to figure out what to do with it. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a nice day. And as they say in Sunnydale...
what did they say in Sunnydale?
Spank the monkey? I don't know.
Welcome to the Hellmouth.